I was a junkie, a single dad, and a rock star. All in one. But inside I was dead.
Korn's first record earned accolades from fans and critics alike. But their aggressive song lyrics told dark tales of drugs, sex, and violence. Korn songs topped music charts. Their albums went multi-platinum, and they struck Grammy Gold not once, but twice.
We played in front of like 200,000 people, and they were all going nuts, and we were like, wow. I dreamt about this when I was a kid, and 100% of it came true. All the fame and money and touring, it's crazy. To the outside world, I had it all. I had money, Grammys, I had the house, cars, anything I wanted.
There's a high when you go on stage and you see all these people like just loving your music and loving you and stuff, and there's these girls and all these people going worshiping me. When you see all those people just going nuts for you, it's like, you know, it puffs you up inside. You're like, you know, I'm important. That's where drugs can creep in, and you know, cocaine or whatever, methamphetamines crept in, and it all came from after drinking for me and my friends. And it seems like fun in the beginning. It's a lie, because it turns around on you. It starts to wear on your personality, starts to wear on your relationships, and everything is affected by it negatively. Everything.
I started doing speed full time every day. I was addicted to Xanax too, sleeping pills. It's like living in pure hell. I was so miserable. I was like, I just want to go to sleep and never wake up. Never. And I really wanted to die. I really did. I was going after my demonic potential, you know? And that was getting famous, worshiping money, worshiping fame, worshiping all this other stuff that I thought life was all about.
My real estate broker, Eric, he said, Brian, I don't mean to be weird with you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I felt the scripture like jump out at me. I've never done this before, you know, so I don't really know how to do this, but I felt like this would mean something to you. It's Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I remember all tweaked out. I looked up in the dictionary, weary. I looked up burdened, and I pulled the scripture apart, and I was like, oh, I'm weary and burdened, and I need rest for my soul. And I didn't know if it was real, but you know, they invited me to church a couple weeks later, and I was like, could Jesus be real? I was thinking that in my mind. Is this guy not just a goody-goody? Could there really be a God? And is he calling me? And I was like, I looked up that scripture, and I wanted it to be true.
Eventually, Brian went to church with him.
So we went to the service, and the music came on, and all these people went up to the front, started praying, and I was like, this place is weird. But I was drawn. I felt something going on. He said, does anybody want to receive Christ? And I did it for myself. I was like, so in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to accept Christ in front of everybody right now. Then I'm going to go home and snort drugs until I don't want to do them anymore. And that was my way of thinking. So I received Christ at the church. I went home, neglected my daughter, and put her in front of the TV. I remember I grabbed a $100 bill. I always used a $100 bill for some reason, pride or something. I chopped up my crystal meth, got it all smooth and powdery, and I snorted a big old line, and I held the bill, and I looked up, and I said, I remember it perfectly too. I was clear, and I said, Lord, if you're real like that guy says, please take these drugs from me. I can't quit. I want to do them, but I want to stop. Come into my life, come into my heart. And I just got quiet. I said, search me right now, search my heart. And I stayed silent. And I said, you know I want to quit. You know I want to be a good dad for this kid. She lost her mother to drugs, and she's going to lose me if I don't quit. Amen.
Brian snorted speed and read the Bible for a week, searching for answers. Then one day,
and I felt this peaceful presence, and I started shaking a little bit, and I got goosebumps everywhere. And the first thing I felt was, I love you. And I was like, Father? Father? I was frozen. I said, Father. I was like, this is God. And then it went away, but it was so real. It took over the high. And
I felt so much fatherly love from heaven. And it was like, I don't condemn you. I love you. I love you. It was just love, love. And instantly, that love from God came into me.
When it went away, the drugs just was, my mind was like, that was just drugs or something. That wasn't real. That wasn't God. And so I did drugs all night long. The next day, I woke up, and I had a feeling to go to my Bible. I opened it up and I pointed, and it said, the soul who sins is the soul who will die. And to me, right then, I was like, I felt like God told me right there, I revealed myself to you last night. It's time for you to stop the drugs. It's time for you to be done. And I just was consumed with fear. I was like, I went and grabbed all my drugs and threw them in the toilet and just said, I'm done, God. I'm yours now. I'm yours. And it's the last time I did drugs.
It was so powerful that the next day I threw away all my drugs, and I quit corn. I was like, I'm quitting corn, and I'm going to raise my kid, because my kid, like, I got the love from God coming to me, and then it came out of me to my kid. It changed me. My heart was changed like that, and I was like, Janaea, Daddy's going to be home with you all the time. I'm quitting my career. And her face lit up, and she's like, for me? You know, she felt so special, and God used her to save me, to save her life later on.
I said, you guys, I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving. I got to leave. I have to leave. I have no other choice. Yeah. My bass player for Korn, he text messaged me. He said, you're going to get put on MTV. Everyone's going to laugh at you. They're going to say that you're crazy. Is that what you want? I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get laughed at, because God's not laughing at me.
To tell you the truth, God was real. He revealed himself to me. He kept revealing himself to me. And I felt his presence at my house. He's speaking through my kid. Like, just all this crazy stuff was happening, and that's all that mattered to me. I was like, okay, that band stuff, the stardom, the money, everything, it doesn't matter anymore. It's God. God, it was so real that I was like, I don't care what I do the rest of my life.
That faith led Brian to check into a hotel for what he calls a personal drug rehab with God.
When I was laying in bed, sweating and stuff, going through all the withdrawals and stuff and speed, and I was like, okay, God, I want you to strip this from me. You're the healer. Take this from me. I didn't know what it meant to be touched in the spirit or nothing, but I felt like he goes, I'm going to make you a star by yourself without Korn. You're mine now. You're going to sing for me.
Cured, he says, of his addiction, Brian joined his church group on a headline-making pilgrimage to Israel.
Right when I got the gown on, tears started coming down my eyes. My stomach was contracting, and I just felt pain. I was looking up, just going, oh, God, I'm sorry.
The change, Brian says, was instant.
I believe that my bad, evil spirits were lifted from me, and now I'm peaceful. I'm peace. I feel peace inside.
My dream came true way more than I dreamt about. I made more money. I played bigger shows. I mean, houses, cars. I tried drugs. I tried sex. I tried everything to try to get pleasure out of this life. And I thought that I could fulfill my life with all this stuff by having my dream come true, and it came true, but it didn't fulfill it. When Christ came in, that feeling, he gives you the gift of understanding life, which is everything was created for Christ and by him, and we're created to be with him. And it's the most incredible feeling because you're where you belong. And contentment is given to you in life because you don't have to look anywhere else. And you're exactly where you need to be. And the question about life is answered.